Have you ever wondered why a simple mixture of Dawn dish soap and water can take down wasps and hornets without using any kind of expensive pesticides? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain the science behind how it works, why a lot of people use it, when to use it, and some important safety tips that go along with using it. And if you stick with me to the end, I'm going to share with you the perfect mixture of Dawn and water for the most effective wasp killing solution. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's begin with how a wasp breathes. Now, unlike humans, a wasp doesn't breathe through lungs. Instead, they breathe through some tiny openings just along the side of their body, all over their body. And these things are called spiracles. And these spiracles connect to a network of air tubes that deliver oxygen throughout the insect. Now, if those spiracles become blocked or flooded, the wasp can't get the oxygen that it needs. So you might be asking, well, why doesn't plain water just drown the wasp? Well, a wasp's body is also covered with a waxy outer coating that naturally repels water. When you spray with plain water, it forms up droplets that bead off and just roll right off the insect, much like water rolls off a freshly waxed car or truck. Now, because of this, there's very little water that actually reaches the spiracles. And this is where Dawn dish soap makes the difference. The dish soap reduces the surface tension of water, allowing it to spread instead of forming the beads. So instead of the water rolling off, the water coats the wasp's body, and now it can reach the spiracles much more effectively. So the first thing that happens in the process is that the soap coats the wasp's body, and then the water spreads evenly across the insect, and it reaches the spiracles and it cuts off the airflow. And as the oxygen becomes limited, the wasp weakens, becomes immobilized, and he eventually dies. And this happens very, very fast. Except unlike pesticides, this is actually a physical effect rather than a neurotoxic chemical reaction. Now, be sure to stay with me to the end where I'm going to give you the perfect mixture of Dawn dish soap and water for the most effective solution for killing wasps. Also, if you're enjoying the video, take time to like and subscribe below. If you use or have used this solution, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. So, how about when's the best time to spray? Well, in order to achieve the best results, timing's kind of important. The best time to spray is early in the morning or late in the evening. At these times, temperatures are a lot cooler, the wasps are generally less active, and many of the wasps are already back at the nest. Now, this makes the treatment a lot safer and a lot more effective. So you might ask, well, how come I just don't use a pesticide to kill them? Well, commercial pesticides certainly have a place, especially if you're using large nests or difficult situations like a nest inside of a wall or something. But many people choose Dawn and water mostly because it's cheap, it's very inexpensive, and most people already have it at home. It also doesn't leave the same type of long-lasting insecticide residue that many commercial sprays do, which makes it much safer for your children and your pets to be around, not to mention all the other beneficial insects that pollinate your garden and flowers. Plus, it breaks down naturally, and it doesn't really need much to break down in the environment. It does so on its own. And probably the coolest thing is it works through a physical process rather than relying on insecticides, which are neurotoxins. Now, if you're not sure what a neurotoxin is, we use it on humans too, and we call those chemical warfare agents. More on that in another video. No matter which method you choose, safety's got to always come first. Always wear eye protection when you're throwing stuff up in the air or spraying stuff in the air. And look, avoid standing directly underneath the nest. Then this ought to be common sense. You don't spray stuff over your head so that the wasp can fall on top of you. But if you do, I'm with Senator Kennedy on this. You're not the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope that the dumbest person doesn't die. Also, have a clear escape route before you begin. Have a way to get out of there if things go bad. You can always go back later and get them. And if the insects become too aggressive, man, just leave the area for a little while. You can always come back and kill them later. Now, this should go without saying, if you have an allergy or anybody around you has an allergy and has bad reactions to wasp stings or bee stings, don't take any unnecessary risk. Look, Dawn and water are great for killing wasps. But now remember, for like a very large nest or some that might be hidden inside of walls or inside of trees, or highly defensive species like yellow jackets, commercial products or maybe even using a professional pest control company might be a safer option for you. Now, I told you at the beginning I was going to give you the formula. I told you in the middle I was going to give you the formula. Now it's time. I'm going to give you the formula. A super simple mixture that works well for killing many wasps and hornets. You simply mix 2 to 3 tablespoons of Dawn dish soap with a quart, that's 32 ounces, of plain old water. Mix it up gently so you don't cause it to have a whole bunch of bubbles and foam, and then pour the solution into a spray bottle, a cup, whatever you're going to use to deploy it, and then it's ready to use. Now, if you want to see this solution in action, click on the box up there to watch me exterminate a nest of red wasps underneath my deck steps.
That's a Redneck NMSO.
Hey Buck, where are you going? Hit subscribe and click on the link up there to see more videos just like this. And thank you for watching the Redneck NMSO.